sourced and bottled in majestic mountains. Liquid Death Mountain water will murder your thirst.
Now I'll pour it with them.
Hello, hello, hello. Check, check.
Hi.
Think everything seems to be working for once.
Happy Sunday.
Hello, Court of Bones. Mrs. Bones. Hello, Seven. Nice to see you again. I was just thinking about you, actually, because we were talking about Twitch streaming last night, and I was nostalgic for my programming streams, hanging out with people like you.
It's true.
So how's everybody doing? Julie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Oh. I've had a ton of coffee, but I'm still a little tired. You can't see it. There's a dog down here.
Not the other dog.
No,
A different dog.
there's a dog over there
He's a good boy.
who's a good boy.
Very good boy.
And then there's a dog down here that belongs to my sister, and
I know. I'm like, what adjective to use
he's
here?
so needy. Like, I've been brake checking him all morning as I walk through the
It's pretty
house.
funny.
Because I'll be carrying a cup of coffee and I won't want to spill it. And if I just stop really suddenly, he just runs into the back of my leg. Like, he's that close to my ankles.
You must be near Renard at all times.
Yeah.
If not his sister, then it must be.
If my
Justin.
sister's not here, it's now me. And he'll ignore Julie. Doesn't matter what she says.
Thank God.
He will sit by me and follow me around and he just needs to be within 3 inches of me at all times. And you would think that's endearing, but
It's not though. This dog's not that cool. It's just not.
oh. So you guys like my flower crown?
We made them. We made them at Court of Bones' party last night.
I made it.
Ah,
This is what I was making instead of Doomtrooper.
it's true. It's true.
It's so true. Well, at least Mrs. Bones likes them.
We'll be all set for next weekend when it's actually midsummer. One of my flowers is like not sitting where I want it to. This white one. What is your deal? What is your deal?
Oh.
Stay up there. There we go.
Yeah, it is upcoming. It is Court of Bones' birthday, so feel free to wish her a happy birthday.
Tomorrow.
She is a wonderful human and deserves to be celebrated.
I don't know if I told you this, Courtney. My mom has this. Well, I know I said that. I think my mom has the same birthday as you, but oh my God, this one flower. My mom is like so steadfast about the fact that she's a Gemini. She's like, I'm a Gemini, not a Cancer. And then I meet you, and you're like, I'm a Cancer. I'm like, okay.
Doesn't your birthday decide what you are?
It's the cusp. Because it depends. Like sometimes June 21st is lumped into Gemini, and sometimes it's lumped into Cancer. I've seen it both ways, and it's just an on the cusp birthday. My mom is a Gemini though, through and through. It works. It fits for her. Yeah. Cusp people get to choose.
This dog, you can't see his eyes, but he's so sleepy looking.
Oh, he looks so cute because his head is off the ground. He's like, his eyes are closed, but his head is lifted. Schnitzel, why are you the cutest? He's such a good boy too. Schnitzel
Yeah, he's
is,
a good dog.
I don't know his actual birthday, but because it's June, which is when we got him 2 years ago, he is now 13. So he's an old man. He's an old man. Honestly, I'm surprised. You're not really like a crafty type person, but I think you were a really good sport by making a flower crown last night.
I did good.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man.
He like put his dress shirt back on this morning. He's like, I want to look fancy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wear my pajamas. This is what I slept in. So.
Yeah, after COVID, I'm going through a fashion identity crisis, I think. I just don't. I was talking about it last night with Court. I don't know what I want to look like, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that too, but like after being inside for so long, when I go and leave the house and I put on something I would have put on 2 years ago, I look in the mirror and I'm like, something's not right. So I'm trying to figure out what that means.
I kind of feel that in that lately I've been looking in my closet and I've just been like, what is all of this stuff? And I've been kind of looking at like the same 3 items that I bought during quarantine that are kind of like, I don't want to say loose fitting, but they're, it's definitely a certain vibe. And I'm like, I want these. Everybody has pants on. Everybody has pants on.
I specifically put pants on this morning because it's kind of visible.
Yeah, okay, these are sweatpants, but they are black pants. They're like nice sweatpants, though.
They're dress pants to go with my dress shirt.
Sure.
And I'm absolutely not wearing sandals.
I hate those sandals.
Oh.
Dear God.
Not if I'm wearing Zoom casual.
Zoom casual, baby.
Yeah, I saw Julie do a meeting this week where
I
she
did
had
an interview. It was hot as balls.
Where she had business from the waist up, but then when she came back out, she just had like little shorts on underneath. I was like,
I had a white
respectable.
dress shirt on. It was so hot. Yeah, it was so warm. We had like a heat wave in Los Angeles last week, and yeah, we had the AC on, but still, it was like pretty warm. And yeah, so dress shirt with shorts.
Yeah, they're saying that maybe business casual is dead. I mean, obviously some companies are going to hang on to it, but with the changes in like the generations with millennials and Gen Z and whatever, plus the pandemic, it's like, do we really need to put on all this uncomfortable clothes and sit around uncomfortable and work? Like, does that make work better? Probably not.
That's what they do at the place I contract. Not even business casual.
No.
Whatever, like, the step above that is. Like, fancy. Yeah, Willow, hey. Justin had his on, too. He just took his off.
There we go.
Chris. Hi. Yeah, every day I'm pretty grateful to roll out of bed at like 9 o'clock and turn my computer on. It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I think that's the perk of being an engineer, though. Like, typically every job I've ever had, if I roll out of bed and I'm tired and I just want to go back to sleep, like, you can get away with just coming in later because most programmers will work later as well, and we work better. Traditionally, we work better, I'd say, after 2 p.m. There are those weird programmers that like to get up and start at 7 a.m. I only know like one of them, but yeah, just like traditionally, and it's an acceptable thing for a programmer to show up after sales guys and after QA people and after design people and stuff in your industry, which is kind of a blessing. Because then if you do show up early, you're the only programmer there and you can get a bunch of work done too. It's a win-win.
That's also when the donuts are there. Or the bagels.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Those are important.
You guys know that. Like, that's why your boss brings bagels and donuts in. It's just to get you to start earlier.
Is?
Oh, yeah.
What?
For sure. Because if he brings donuts in and he's like the first one in the office, if they bring donuts in and they are the first one in the office, or he or she or whatever, then the trend will become set that if you are the last one to work, you don't get the good donuts. So you will show up earlier just to get those good donuts. And eventually you'll show up just in case there are donuts, because you don't want to hear about them while you're still at home and then rush to work and be the last one there. So then all of a sudden you're showing up at work at 8 a.m. every day. Boss
my,
brings
my boss barely comes to the office. Lucky boss.
Early bird gets pick of the donuts. Yeah, I do.
We didn't have any donuts. Now I want donuts.
It's weird though. Like I used to get upset when you would see like the bosses and the owners and stuff like roll into work whenever they want and leave whenever they want and leave for hours in the middle of the day. But the harder I work on Doomtrooper and Secret Cal level games and stuff like that, the more I get it. As a lot of you guys know, like I'm effectively working 12-ish hours a day, and at least 4+ of those are unpaid. And I've been doing weekends as well, like sometimes a full 8-hour day on a weekend, giving up everything and like not getting paid. And if and when this game starts to pay revenue and I'm able to hire people, it's easy to realize that maybe it's their turn to work really hard and I just steer the ship, because like I've put in my prison hours, you know, like
You're well above your 10,000 hours.
Yeah, I think about that, and I encourage you guys to think about that. If you have a boss who's nice, but he doesn't maybe work as hard as you guys do, if they, I keep saying he because we're watching. I keep saying he because we're watching Mythic Quest on Apple TV Plus streaming service.com. And the boss is Mac from Always Sunny.
But he's not even the boss. That's the best part of it. Is you're like, they do such a good job with him being such a egomaniac that you think he is the boss, but he's not.
Yeah.
Remember, Cricket's the boss.
I mean more like company founders and stuff. Like if you see them maybe not working as hard as you think, you know, you consider giving them a little slack, because they've probably put in their 10,000 unpaid hours to get to the point where your salary, you know, was in the bank account, which is an interesting perspective that I never would have had before.
Yeah. Chris, are you in the office today? Because you said that you had donuts today, and your schedules changes all the time. You may be in the office.
Oh.
Brian was here for like a second. I didn't get to say hi.
Arch
Now he's
Inquisitor?
gone, yeah.
Mm.
Except not under that username. You're in the office. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of Sundays, it seems. Past couple weeks you've been in.
Cool.
Cool.
What's next?
I really like Danny. Is it Pootie?
I think it's Pootie.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cool.
Cool.
Oh,
and
on Mythic Quest.
I meant to tell Courtney and Willow last night as well, but like you guys should watch Mythic Quest. It's funny if you have. I mean, it's funny in general. Like Julie's enjoying it, but like I think the more you
Was
know,
that like a weird bar? Like...
No. The more you know about the video game industry and studios, the funnier some of the jokes are. Like there's a scene where the boss is like, "Oh yeah, we have tons of women who work here. Let me just." And he looks around the giant open floor plan office. And he's like,
"They're not in this
well,
room.
They're not in this room." And he's just like spends a whole scene walking around trying to find one of his female employees. And everybody is just a dude.
Oh my god, that was great. And he finally finds like this one chick, and he's like, "Hey," and she's like, "Yeah, what?"
Yeah,
because it's so hard for her as a woman in the industry.
It's been an easy watch. Just remembering my time like at a big studio and the work that I do now and stuff, and Mac from Always Sunny. He's just wearing all black, tons of rings on his fingers.
I think he has like 7 rings.
Yeah, and he's just like,
it's like a million
I've got this
rings.
genius idea. All right, go forth and make my genius. And I'm like, I've worked with those guys before. The designers who just like sit in their office like this all day, just staring at the wall, dreaming up phrases for swords that sound like epic and awesome. It's it's pretty good. So Mythic Quest, give Apple more of your money. Although we're not paying for it, I don't think.
How are we watching it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Free trial, maybe? I'm not sure.
Oh, no, really? That's so funny. And also, it's like, it's been performing the worst out of any app that we've watched shows on.
Yeah.
It's like frozen a couple times and like glitched. We had to turn.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you guys
everything.
deal with this, but so I have a Google TV into a receiver, which goes into my TV. And when I'm watching 4K, HDR, Dolby Vision, like high-end content, sometimes it like loses the I'm guessing the handshake, and the screen either goes green or it goes black. And sometimes it comes back, and sometimes it doesn't. It just has trouble playing the HDR stuff, and I don't know where like the failure in my system is, but it's incredibly frustrating. Nerdly says I had free Apple Plus for a year and never watched anything, but I finally have stuff I want to check out at some point. Yeah, it looks like it's getting some good stuff. But yeah, definitely start with Mythic Quest. I think you and the wife will find it hilarious. Oh, man. I keep saying that I want to do this, but Courtney can hold me to it. I need to figure out my channel here on Twitch a little bit more. So I'm definitely open to suggestions.
What are things, humiliating things that Justin should do for channel points?
Yeah, channel points and bit goals and subscriber goals and that kind of stuff. Like, if there's any ideas you guys have or something you'd be willing to say, give $5 to this channel in order to make me do something or see something or say something, etc. Yeah, please let me know in suggestions or text me or Discord me or whatever, however you have to contact me, because I've been meaning to do that. I just haven't been inspired. And it's great that I have, even this many viewers who show up when I'm like, not doing any fun interactive things anymore. Definitely need to get back on that though.
Yeah, it's true. We need more stuff going
Like, the example I used last night was, I think it's Slade. He's a Mario streamer. He streams Mario Maker, and he'll play the hardest levels live and beat them. Like, it's insane. If you want to see... I don't know if you've ever seen the difficult Mario Maker levels, but it'll just be like the type of thing where you have to run, jump, there'll be one block, you have to hit that block, then there'll be one enemy, and you have to bounce off his head, then another enemy, then another block, then you have to run for 3 blocks, then jump, and if you get the timing wrong once, you're dead. Like, they just make the hardest levels ever, and he'll play through them. But he's got this thing where, of course, text-to-speech, if somebody donates, it'll read something embarrassing out loud, and then they'll clip it, and then they'll play the clip back all the time to embarrass him. That's obviously something I will probably do, but there's a certain level, maybe it's a subscription, where his whole wall is painted as a green screen, and he has a rubber chicken. And he will just stand up, and he will throw the rubber chicken at the wall as hard as he physically can. Like, as many times as somebody donates, he will just thrash this rubber chicken. And it is strangely hilarious. I don't understand why, but it is.
I think rubber chickens are just weird to begin with.
Yeah.
They're just like, whoa.
How do they go?
Whoa.
All right. So
this is itching my head.
yeah.
Oh, freedom.
So this is this game that I'm making.
What's it called?
It's called Doomtrooper.
Doomtrooper.
I was gonna share a little anecdote about what it's like to be a programmer. So
You're a programmer?
So this card is named Nikolai. One of my favorite art ever. Yeah, I mean it's a mortificator, which is imagine if the Pope had a fully armored in black assassin who just went around and murdered the shit out of bad people. That's what a mortificator is. He's got a chainsaw dripping in blood. It's amazing. It was a promo card back in the day, and now it's part of our main set. His ability is every 1 destiny Nikolai spends casting art spells counts as 2 destiny. So if you're a non-programmer, or even if you are a programmer, you might read that and think like, oh, that's easy. Like, every time you spend something, just multiply it times 2. Done, right? That's what I thought. So then you look at a card like Banishment. Cast as 2 actions and 5 destiny, and it does something. So if you want to play this card, and you drag it to your side of the board to play it, it needs to say, does player have 5 destiny? If not, show an error message. Like, why would we want to send that to the server? Like, we can just check that on the client, make sure they have enough mana to cast the spell. But if you have Nikolai on the board, the card I just showed, you only need 3. But how would your client know that necessarily Especially if, like in this case, this is like the 300th card I've added, and we didn't anticipate that being a thing, unfortunately. So, in order to add this simple card, long story short, I had to add a whole system. So when you try to play a card like this, it sends it to the server. A whole new system for this. Not to play the card, but just to say I want to play the card. Then Nikolai can respond on the server and say, oh, by the way, I make that card cost half, which can then go back to the client, and he can say, oh, you have a card on the board that changes the amount of destiny for this specific card to play it. Then you play the card and it goes to the server. So, not so bad, right? However, the system that we implemented months ago was, and I promise the nerd story is almost done.
What Josh said.
What?
Feel like I'm here for a proper TED Talk with Justin in this outfit. I know, it's funny.
So the problem is when we coded this system for a card like Leverage, right? For every one destiny you spend, opponent loses one. So there's a slider on the screen. How many do you want to spend? And when you slide it, it sends the amount of destiny you want to spend. So if this said for every 2 destiny he discards 1, and you slide it to do 5 times, it would send 10 to the server. Because it's like you're spending 10 destiny to make this work. And all the cards would calculate that. But that, I'm not going to go into the details with it, but if you need to do the multiplication, that's infinitely harder for the guy who makes it cost twice as much. So I had to go back and change the system to send the number of times you're activating, not the number of mana you're spending, and then go and change every card that used that system to reflect the new change, all so that I could add a card that says for every 1 destiny he spends, it counts 2. And that probably made a little sense to some of you and more sense to more of you, but like the point is that it looks easy when you look at this. And the update for Friday got delayed to Saturday when I finished it. But then I didn't want to push it and go to bed in case it breaks because it changed probably 50 different cards or code files. So it got delayed again till today, which I'm going to push it this afternoon. And when it goes, and Josh will appreciate this as a programmer who, there's a difference between the amount of work that goes into something and what's in the release notes. So then I'm going to push this live. And one of you guys, or one of the players, is going to see it and go, that's it? Like, you delayed it for 2 days to add this card? And it's just, it fascinates me. It's like the guy who said, you had $30,000, why is this game not done? Where did the money go? And it's like, there's so much that happens behind the scenes when you're programming that only programmers will understand. Like, keeping track, I had to add a complete new system to the client, a complete new endpoint to the API, a complete new script hook to handle that system. I had to change the UI and how it sends data to the server. I had to update every card that used that system, and then I had to do extensive testing, and I'm probably forgetting some stuff, just to make this card that literally has 1 short sentence as an ability. It's something. But
it's something.
To be fair, there's also Bluther.
Coffee break. There's
also Brother Claudius, who has a very similar ability. For every 1 he spends counts as 3. Literally a copy paste of the other card and change 1 number. So I got 2 cards out of it, which is great. I got a better system. I added more tests. I cleaned some stuff up to make finding bugs in the future a lot easier. And this system will allow for more unique cards in future expansions. So long term and medium term, super win-win for everybody. Short term, it's only win-win for me, and everybody else gets 2 new cards from the system. But if you are a programmer, you'll appreciate,
So
the wealth.
Josh will appreciate it.
The wealth. 7, I think, codes a little, but you'll appreciate the wealth of work to go into a release note that someone will just say, that's it.
That's all you did?
But if you're not a programmer and you're a gamer, consider this long, confusing nerd rant next time you see an update that is delayed or has issues or something goes wrong, and you'll understand, like, if you guys seen that meme of the iceberg, and it's like above
Or do you just have knowledge of how an iceberg is?
Yeah, the part you see is like yay big, but then underneath it's just like
gigantic.
a planet-sized thing. Like, I feel like that's what my job is just I have to move mountains all week long, whether it's this or my day job or contract gig or whatever. And then when I give it to them, they're just like, well, how come this other thing's not done? Or, you know, why is this pixel not perfect? And it's just like, I did so much work. Somebody appreciate me. So, so the update is, that update is done and is going to go live, but I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more cards that are easier to add. Fingers crossed. I thought that one would be easy. That took 2 weeks. And then I'm going to push the update this afternoon, and then hopefully it'll go okay. But yeah, if you're watching this and you play the game, any cards that have the slider potentially could have issues. Technically any cards that have cost, like action cost or destiny cost, especially fate cards, could have issues. The issues would probably be, I played this card, it says it costs 5 destiny and it didn't take away 5, or it says it costs 3 actions and it didn't take any away. Result of a typo. But I did have to recode the way the entire cost system works. I kind of had already recoded it, but I hadn't converted all the cards. I had to go and do that. So anytime a card takes actions or destiny away, it's a very clean, awesome system, which is what allows something like those cards I showed to manipulate it. Because if it wasn't a clean system, they wouldn't be able to manipulate it, because the card would say, take away 5 destiny. And like those cards would have no way to change that, because the card is hard-coded to take away 5 destiny in 1 action. So now, since it's a clean system, it flows, it basically like flows in a circle. And at any point in that circle, a card can say, oh, change that, cut it in half, multiply it times 2. So it'll lead to a lot more improvements, but apologies if I introduced any new bugs.
Look at me. Just got this one piece of hair just floating over your glasses. Josh asked you a question.
All right, so I'd like him to be wearing a Madonna mic next time. Yeah, I have a little lapel mic, but I don't think I have a cable long enough to get it over there to my desk. But the Madonna mic would be worth it. Testing, what do you think you are? Users are the testers, it's true. But I am, I'm finally that guy that all programmers
I thought you were that bitch.
I'm 100% that guy who tells you, no, really, write more tests. Like, I can't code without tests. I finally became that guy, and I hated that guy for my whole career. But I had this conversation with my day job boss, and she was like, I said something about how I don't test in browser or in game anymore. I just write tests that automate it, because they seem like they take longer at first. But if you have to run that test, say 10 times, that work you spend to write the test will exponentially save time in the medium term.
Plus, peace of mind.
Yeah, and the more tests I write for Doomtrooper, the more things I find before the testers find it, and it's awesome.
Which is great.
So in what manner is this new system generic enough to allow to handle new cards? I really am proud of this system, but I don't know that I can explain it in a way that isn't super dorky, but I'll try to do a short version.
Hey, Tomek. Hello.
I use inheritance on the cards, so there's the base card at the bottom, which defines all of the functions a card can do.
Wow, it's already really nerdy.
Then on top of that is, for a warrior, is a card called Generic Warrior, which anything that all warriors need would be in there. And then on top of...
Just breezing right through nap time.
Then on top of that is the specific card you're playing, the specific warrior, right? So in the base, it defines the default cost for all card types. And then usually there's nothing in the warrior level because it's already defined in base. And then the specific card can define overrides to that at the top of the file. And when it's calculated, it'll say, well, what's the default? Are there any overrides? But then that falls apart for cards that say, every time you play this card, its cost doubles next time. Like it comes back to your hand and it costs twice as much. So there's a third tier called calculated cost. It's a function that any card can implement. So it'll say, take the base. Are there any overrides? Override the base. Are there any calculated costs? Override that. and then it'll return that to the game engine, and then it'll process the action based on that. And there's other scripts that fire in the pipeline. But it's really neat that the default cost overrides and then calculated in like a tiered system ends up allowing, I think, that system I think could define the cost of every card I've ever seen in Magic, Hearthstone, or Doomtrooper. Like it's dynamic enough to cover all bases for all cards, which is kind of cool. So short version. Yeah.
Head explodes.
I am that guy who's using inheritance and object-oriented programming in JavaScript because it kind of makes a lot of sense especially for cards, but coming from a game engine background, everybody uses C++ and inheritance and stuff anyway, so it felt natural at the time. I would make my core rules functional for any of the nerds out there. There are a ton of side effects because it's a card game, right? So the action comes through and it fires a script and fires a script and fires a script. That's why if there's an error in the main pipeline of processing an action, the game state can get corrupt and hell breaks loose. And I get the weirdest bug reports. It should have been functional. It should have had a reducer where everything processes and changes the state once. Well, it doesn't change the state. It generates a new state for any of you who are into reducers and functional programming. But I didn't. But if and when Doomtrooper is a huge success, I will probably make a 2.0 of the rules engine that is pure functions and no side effects, and it'll be glorious.
Glorious.
I use it in TypeScript like crazy. Yeah, they're fun. The React.js ecosystem as a whole has moved to functional, and it's beautiful. But I think, like, my card scripts are all vanilla JavaScript. They have zero dependencies. Other than other Doomtrooper libraries. So there's the cards library, the rules library, the shared library all connects.
Welcome
and
to
it just
the
makes
stream.
sense. Hey Thorgal. And Tomek. Didn't say hi to Tomek earlier. So yeah, if you guys missed it, the short version is the cards that you think are simple or not cause giant amounts of work for me and have to delay the update till today. And then you guys will see it and you'll say, huh, that's it. But it's good in the long run. The other Doomtrooper question I've been asking myself and asking Discord is there's like 2 or 3 cards at any given time in the game that are completely overpowered. Like, to the point where someone said, if you get these 2 cards first, you win. But if your opponent gets them first, he wins. And that's the game.
They win.
So the question, and even if you don't play, I'm curious your answer. Do I leave those cards as is until the community and the designers decide a fix and a change and then push the fix? Or do I disable the cards and make people play with other cards while we're figuring out the nerf and then patch the nerf and turn them back on?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how angry people are in Discord. Are they threatening to quit the game?
They're not angry. They're silent. And the number of games per day has dropped.
Oh, well then, shit. I would just take. I don't know. I guess I would. If it's leading to such strong results, I guess you need to.
Thorgal says leave it as is.
I know. I see, but damn.
Why is that, Thorgal? Why do we leave it as is?
Because people are petty.
Also, Josh, I don't use TypeScript yet. I'm warming up to it. I never used it because I want to make sure it has staying power before I start using it. I don't want to put it into my code and then have it be deprecated, or probably what will happen is it'll get built into the ECMAScript standard, and then I'll have to take time to change it. But I'm warming up more and more to the value add. I can understand that it wouldn't be fun to play with or against, but at the same time, not taking action when you know something is a problem like that, even when it comes to pulling it without at least having some idea of what the meta change might not be ideal. Yeah, that was kind of my thought process, which is why I haven't pulled it. And now we'll check in with Dog.
Still dogging. Still dogging.
All right, that was Dog with weather.
It's sunny.
Nerf idea: make OP cards faction and allow them only if the deck doesn't have generic cartel cards. Yeah, the problem with that though is I could say that's it, that's the perfect idea, but then I have to take the time to edit the deck builder or the rules engine to not allow that. Oh, Balfour.
Oh man. God damn it, we've been wearing your fucking shirt like every week, and every time we wear it, you're never here. And it's like, we wore the shirt, I swear to God, we did. We wore your shirt. I wore it one week, and then Justin wore it like another week. Like, we totally repped.
Oh, man.
We totally repped, friend.
Balfour, you're my hero, my friend.
It's a good man.
You guys should definitely check out his channel. They do a lot of really great stuff. They play a lot of card games in a group.
Justin
It's
Renard
kind of
says, subscribe to yourself.
Yeah.
I love it.
How does that even allow that? Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Cheddar biscuits. What a good.
But yeah,
name.
definitely follow Blood Raven. He's a good dude, good community. And I was just telling Julie, like, I really want to figure out a way to harness his power. Like, if everyone in my life,
Harness his enthusiasm.
yeah, I don't
what
have a lot of people, like, whatever is inside me is like, you know, in Back to the Future Part 3, where they have the train and they're throwing those colored logs in and they're making the train go like 100 miles an hour faster than it's supposed to go. Like, I feel like sometimes that I have that type of engine in me, and I'm just like burning full speed ahead, and then I meet people and they're just like, I'm chilling. And like, it's weird for me because I want people like me. And Blood Rain is one of the few people I know. I guess Josh, Willow, there are some people in here, the people that hang out with me, you know. A lot of you guys, you seem to have a little bit of that fire.
Balfour's still in his 20s.
Yeah, but Balfour specifically, I want to figure out a way to harness it. Like, get him and I in the same room and work on something. And I'm like, we could move mountains, but I don't know what the mountain we want to move is. Yeah, after I was saying that out loud, I was like, a lot of you guys that I'm hanging out with are got that. Even like Tomek and Thorgal are like testing the shit out of Doomtrooper, and then they're like designing new cards and fixes for cards, and that's not something to scoff at, because the average person would play Find a Bug and quit forever. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of the community I've built here, is people that either think my wife is super pretty, or appreciate like the fire inside and like wanna do more. Court said and.
I know.
And what?
Bye, Balfour. Thanks for stopping in and being awesome.
Por qué not do? Yeah, okay, sorry. That's where we're going at. It's people who find my wife attractive and have a fire inside. Not or. And. Because there is no or. I mean, obviously. Exhibit A. Both of you are gorgeous. Well, so are you. Everyone in chat right now that I've seen photos of is gorgeous.
10 out of 10 would marry.
I just realized I didn't button my shirt all the way.
Well, things were going fine, all right?
I have an undershirt on.
Me.
It's fine. Let's keep talking about my wife.
I've never made a flower crown before, and it's so funny, Courtney. Now I'm sitting here and I'm like, I definitely see how I could have reinforced these things better. And I'm like, and I wish I did this so this flower wouldn't fall, because it keeps falling.
Nerdly's is gifting too.
What a day. What a day.
By the way, I don't know if Balfour's still here, but I bought a bunch of bits the other day for Balfour and the Nerdlys.
Oh my god, that's true.
And then something like went wrong and I couldn't get like Twitch to load or something, and I'm like, yeah. So I will be dropping back in with some bits and stuff.
Thanks, Courtney.
Next time.
Yeah. Actually, that would be great, because there's this one white flower that I don't know what I was thinking, and I didn't tape it properly.
So in other news, what's going on with Doomtrooper? The big mental change on my side of things is, I thought that my goal was going to be to complete the base set and to get everything done. But that's not right. What my goal should be is to increase engagement and thus increase player retention and thus increase revenue. Because the bottom line, as I always say, is we have to impress the IP owners. Like, Secret Cow Level is a business, sure, so on a good day. But Cabinet Entertainment, Heroic Signatures is a real international business with Mutant Chronicles, Doomtrooper, Conan the Barbarian, all that stuff. So we can't treat this as a hobby as much as we'd like to.
Yeah, that's true.
So I've been working on 2 big things, maybe 3 big things to fix this. 4 big things. See if I can remember them all. One is the reward loop. So every time you...
I thought you just
No. Every time you level up
That's
your
it?
account level, you get a reward. Level 1 to 2, level 2 to 3, whatever. When the game launches, and I'll probably test some of this during beta and then do the reset with the final reset, you'll be able to get to level 20. So there'll be rewards set up from level 1 to level 20. Faction level, we've been testing quietly in the background, but the more you play a certain faction, you'll level up. You'll be able to go from level 1 to level 5 per faction, and each level will give you a reward. And the third item is stuff in the store. So after I finish the experience points reward loop, I'm going to dump something like 50 to 100 things to the store. They won't all be visible at the same time, but similar to Magic and other games, every day when you log in, some stuff will be there every day, like buying packs, and some stuff will cycle like they do now. You might see 3 avatars a day, 3 mission cards a day, 1 lore card a day, 1 title, 1 card back, whatever. And you'll have to come in and check. And we'll also float free stuff in there, of course.
Did you just pet Doggo?
Yeah. To incentivize
nice
people
of you.
to check to get the free stuff. It's like a loop. The third thing, which I'm actually planning on working on today, fingers crossed, it's been weeks in the making, is the new weekly quests. So I've mentioned this before. You'll get the weekly quest Monday at 12:01 a.m. Pacific time. And if you complete it, you will get part 2 midnight the following day. And then if you complete that, part 3 midnight the following day. So that'll encourage you, because some people will log in and do the quest on Monday and then not play all week because they finished the quest, right? Maybe they'll log in and do their dailies, but the idea is there's more to do every day. Maybe it's leveling up to get that next XP reward or faction level reward that you're excited about, or maybe it's logging in to get that next level of the mission, the weekly mission, or even the daily, which I'd like to improve eventually as well. But you will only, the part that I have to code is you'll only get the next phase of the weekly mission the next day, so you can't burn through them all in a day. And then the fourth thing, I remembered them all, is the new player experience. So we've talked about this ad nauseum, but it's about 4 to 5 hours where you log in and you do the tutorial and you get some cards and some packs. Then you are welcome to do the faction packs.
Faction Wars.
Faction Wars.
Whoa.
And after you do one, it unlocks the rest of the game, and you can do multiplayer and practice and all that
So you
stuff.
only have to do one. You don't have to do all the other faction.
Correct.
wars.
But
Okay.
every faction war, which is a single-player extension of the tutorial, will tell a story and will reward you with a starter deck and more packs. And
I don't know why you wouldn't want to do them.
yeah,
But
so if you want to learn the game, you want to learn the story, you want to get free stuff, yes, you will spend a couple days or a couple hours burning through the tutorial and all 7 faction wars. You'll get a fair amount of stuff.
It's a shit ton of stuff, honestly.
You will
It
level
really
up as
is.
you go, and you'll get your first cosmetic and some free packs and some coins, and it kind of introduces you to everything. And then at that point, the main game loop is playing against other people.
Actual humans.
And that's a hard problem for us to solve because we just need more volume of players. But if there are more rewards and you get experience points even if you lose, then you're always going to be working towards the account rewards, the faction rewards, the weekly rewards, the daily rewards. And shortly after those 4 things are done, we'll also have the weekly events where you can do weekly events, which will be single player or multiplayer, depending on the event. And you can earn rewards that way. Maybe it goes live on Friday and ends on Sunday night or something along those lines, to encourage people to come back and get that free stuff. So, yeah, it's a lot.
Josh wrote a paragraph.
Yeah. I'll say that while time-gating content might seem antithetical? I've never used that word in my life. To a good player experience, people will otherwise just completely grind out whatever they can, then drop the game until the next major content drop. So dailies or getting weeklies is simply a smart business strategy. Yeah, I
don't think it's anti-ethical. Anti-ethical.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I agree 100% with that. And when I said your character levels go to 20, that's only for the base set. When we drop the first expansion, we'll probably add 10 more levels, and we'll add like 2 more levels to the factions. And it's not quite in the game yet, but if I show you the avatars, the Kickstarter avatars, these ones with the faction logos, you get the modern 3rd edition equivalent of those.
So what are these that we're looking
These are the
at right
Kickstarter
now?
ones. These are the 2nd edition.
Those are second
the
edition.
retro
Okay.
ones, yeah.
So we don't have the 3rd edition.
We have a few of them.
Oh, okay.
They're just not here yet.
Got it.
So when you get to, say, level 5, level 6, level 7, one of those, you'll get the card back. There'll also be avatars at a lower level. There's titles. So as you level up each faction, you earn the faction-specific rewards. And currently the reward for level 10 of a faction or level 20 of your account is a custom versus screen. So you'll be able to
cool.
customize the versus screen that comes into the game when you start a game with something that's like shiny and animated and different from everybody else. So it's really a way to like drop the hammer. Like, you know, you see the Imperial versus screen come in. It's like, ooh, this guy is like, you know, he's been playing a lot of Imperial. I'm probably going to lose. So yeah, the reward loop is super important. And there will probably be improvements to our mission screen that kind of hold your hand a little more. That's like, oh, looking for something to do next. Why don't you, do this? You're really close to your next account level. So I'll have to update the UI as we go. Also, I've wanted to do this for a long time, and I hope to get to it medium term, is giving rewards to your opponent at the end of the game. So you can take your coins and donate them to your opponent as a way to say good game. And why would you want to do that? Because you're a nice person. And because if you were mad at that person and I gave you a way to punish them, you would click it. And you know you would. So if you're happy with them and I give you a way to reward them, wouldn't you click it too? You can't say no now after I worded it like that, because you're thinking inside your head. You're like, I would click that ban this guy button if I could. So yeah, maybe I will give him some coins. And also, I've seen other games do this, which is, where I got the idea. I think the people who reward the most other people at the end of a season will get a special reward. So if you're the guy who is giving away the most coins to other players, maybe you'll get a really cool cosmetic or something. Or
maybe you will.
Yeah. Directly opposed or contrasted, mutually incompatible. I need a calendar of the day or just Josh to text me once a day.
Like a word of the day. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm working really hard. That's the bottom line.
He's always working really hard.
Speaking of working, I don't think I had this last week. If I can get it without spilling everything.
Oh God.
This is my new, look out, dog. I got a new laptop for Doomtrooper development. I'm very excited about it. For the nerds,
He
it
is
is
very, very excited.
it's a
about
13-inch Dell XPS Developer Edition, which basically means I didn't pay for a Windows license. It has almost no bezels on the screen, so it's like an inch smaller than her 13-inch MacBook Pro, which is why I love the Dell ones. But the new Developer Edition, I found out, allows you to get 32 gigs of RAM in this little tiny laptop.
It is a really cute laptop.
This laptop will open in economy seating on Spirit Airlines. For any of you Americans who have flown on Spirit, that little tiny tray and like your knees are touching the seat in front of you. You try to open a MacBook Pro, you're not getting any work done.
No,
you
it's
try to
gonna
open
be like
this,
an angle like that, like just so that
Yeah.
you can't. Wow,
This
it's hard to
laptop-
see on camera. Just so that you can't actually work.
this laptop will open, and it'll be comfortable enough to get an hour, maybe an hour and a half of work in before your back and neck hurt.
I'd like to see this in reality. I want to see how this performs on a shitty airline.
So it's really sweet. I got the maxed out i7 mobile processor they offered, 32 gigs of RAM, and then I just got the default 256 hard drive because I don't keep a lot of binary files on my computer. Maybe virtual machines, I'd need a bigger one, but it is the one part that is user replaceable. So if I decide to run a bunch of virtual machines on here, then I will pop it open and put a new hard drive in. But I will tell you, if you want to buy a Dell, a space Dell, not the singer, she's not for sale. I clicked the button to get customer support and told I had a bunch of discount codes and none of them would work. And they took the price down almost $300 and sent me a custom link to order it. So if you ever buy a Dell, go into support and be like, yeah, I was hoping I could get a discount. And you can probably negotiate one because, yeah, I was shocked.
Doggo looks cute. He's sleeping. He's a good boy.
Lastly, on the laptop, I did not get the OLED or 4K display. I got the normal 1200 pixel display touchscreen. Just because I don't think you need an OLED on a tiny laptop.
I think it was decided battery life would be more important.
Yeah, and for
in this,
working on the go.
yeah.
And I don't regret it. If you told me this was an OLED, I would probably believe you unless you put the OLED right next to it. So, very excited. I paid $50 to make the laptop white because it looked kind of slick, which is weird for my goth aesthetic, but I'm happy with it.
Yep.
And that was Dog with Weather.
Yep. It's good, right?
How's weather? It's sleepy.
It's sleepy.
Oh, so yeah, the update will come out today. I don't know that the new weekly mission that I just mentioned will be out today. Most likely not, but I should get some progress on them. But I'll get the new cards in, and I'll be monitoring for errors. So fingers crossed. And I do have a big focus this week probably on balancing some of the problematic cards and some of the suggestions on GitHub. I meant to do that for this update, but like I said, I thought Nikolai was going to be a lot easier to program. He was not. So that's all I got. I have to deliver this little gremlin dog back to my sister and get some lunch, and then I will be working. I am going to try a new thing. Some of my friends last night were talking about it, and I've only done it once or twice to no success. But I think I'm going to try hanging out in voice channels more often on Discord, the public voice channels. And if anybody wants to like hang out and talk about card balance and stuff, maybe it'll be fun. Or if you're just bored and you want to just hang out and talk about something else, it might be fun. Also, Josh, if you're still using Discord, you should ping me because I forgot what your secret identity was. No, one more thing. Yeah, I do kind of look like a turtleneck. You're like,
What the? How did I miss that?
what?
I jumped to get the star,
You're not supposed to get the star. They are.
and I didn't.
And also, especially Courtney, if you're still listening, please hit me up with suggestions on channel points and bits, rewards, and stuff. I gotta come up with something. Yeah.
You do play guitar.
I do have one more thing. I have some advice for anyone else who is working hard on something that they're passionate about. I've had some really good success recently getting off of my main computer, possibly with my laptop to take notes, but sometimes pen and paper, sometimes nothing at all, and pouring a glass of scotch, or if you're into weed smoking, like smoke some weed, sit on a couch and just think. And I know like some of you creatives like already do that, but it's not a very programmer thing to do. But I am also a game designer, technically. I have to get out of my programmer head. And I will sit and I will just envision a new user who opens up Doomtrooper for the first time. And what does he see? And What do they see? I mean, let's be honest.
I'm
It's a
not
he.
gonna let this
in the,
go,
In the
babe.
case of Doomtrooper, it's a he. We know that from
You're
analytics.
like a pretty woke person in general, and I just don't understand this part of you.
To be fair, Courtney corrected Willow last night at the party, who are
Wow.
unarguably more woke than me.
Yes, absolutely.
So everybody makes mistakes. So yes. So they, what do they see when they log in? What do they want to see? What do they expect to see? What would excite them? What would make them spend money on this project? And I will just kind of drink and take notes and write stuff down and run stuff by her. And a lot of these new ideas I've come up with have came from just, I thank whiskey and I thank this couch. Because I can just sit here
You do
in the
love this
corner,
couch,
yeah,
I gotta
and I
say,
can drink a
like-
whiskey, and I can put some droning music on in the background, and I can just think about it, and it's been really nice. So, what if I'm scared of introspection? Drink
It's
more.
not self-introspection.
It can be.
I mean, it can be.
Sometimes
but
I
it doesn't have to
think,
be.
why is this game not done yet? What did I do wrong? And that's when you stop and go do something else.
Oh, why did we go to so many conventions and spend money on that?
We made a lot of friends,
We
a lot of
did.
connections,
Made so many friends.
and a lot of the business connections we made that are going to lead to advertising for Doomtrooper's launch came from those conventions. So I don't regret it. Yeah, so I'm going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I appreciate you guys hanging out. I appreciate the subscribe. You guys got my subscriber count back up to where it was when I was doing programming streams, which helps my self-esteem. It builds me up. So I appreciate the subs, the bits, the donations, all that stuff, and I assure you we will do something fun with channel points. Maybe dog related. Maybe so many channel points I'll go over there and I'll wake up Dog. And Dog and I will dance.
Yeah, yeah, he's old though. I don't know that we should count on him for that.
Well, I'm open to suggestions. But thank you guys for hanging out. Follow Blood Rain. Follow the Nerdlies. Follow Willow Art if she is still around. She will be going live shortly. And some of our regulars hang out with her now. She does some amazingly beautiful art and drinks a lot of water. So definitely worth hanging out. And
Is her water consumption noteworthy?
oh yeah, there's a bot that reminds her to drink water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
Got
a
it.
thing. So yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I will see you guys on Discord. Help me balance these troublesome cards. Help me figure out channel points. And let me compliment you and tell you how beautiful you are.
Oh, nice.
All right. See you guys next week. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.